Hello, everybody, and this is Chris. Before I get started with this very, very belated Ask Tuesday, um, because I'm actually doing this on the Thursday after the Tuesday. The Tuesday part I did on Tuesday, but I didn't upload it on Tuesday. So anyway, I've been kind of going through a lot of different thoughts, and to be very, very honest, I've gotten bored with the shows that I've put together to do. From now until eternity on my channel. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all have gotten bored too because, as I can see, like the views have gone down. And so that shows that, people are like, okay, you've been doing the same, two little shows, 2 or 3 or whatever. And it's kind of getting boring now. So what can we do to kind of spice the channel up? And I guess in my own head, I was kind of thinking that once you get started with something, you start doing something and you be consistent, you do it on your, daily or every other day or weekly or whatever schedule. And if it works and it's doing great, you just keep it forever and ever and ever. And I never really thought that, at least for me personally, that you should, change it up a little bit. I'm thinking it's almost like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But, lo and behold, over time we're all human and we all get bored with the same thing. I guess because all of our lives are, riddled back and forth with change. Change is everywhere. Change is always happening, always going on. So, long story short, basically I'm bringing change now to my channel. And they do it in TV, they do it in books, they do it in music. Nobody ever wants to hear the same thing because it gets overly monotonous and you start looking other places, so you have to spice it up, right? So anyway, so I'm gonna be doing some new shows this video, and then when I finish the time-lapse video that's coming up I guess tomorrow, that will be the last videos that I will be doing for January. I need to take some time and kind of flesh out these ideas. So let me run these by you and then I'll continue what I was saying. So I have 4 different ideas down here that I have written down. Okay. These ideas or these other shows, whatever I end up deciding on, and also with some input from you guys too. They're gonna run at the longest for about 6 months, and that's still tentative because like I said, this is my first time doing any type of thing like this. I'm not a professional in any type of entertainment industry or whatever, so I'm not sure what's a good time period. So we'll just kind of play with it. If it runs too long and it looks like it's getting boring, then we'll change it. If that happens to be a month from now, then we'll change it. We'll try something else and we'll bring it back in like a couple months. But to always keep it kind of changing, rotating, and to keep you guys guessing. That way it's interesting when you see something, you're like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Let's watch it. Or you're like, oh, I've seen too many of these, and miraculously, oh, okay, now they're not coming on. Now there's something different. Let's see what this is, But even restaurants do it, and everybody, they change up over time. But anyway, let me write this down or tell you this really quickly. Okay, so first thing is closing time, and that's a little idea that I'm coming up with for something where I could just show you how to do closures. And all of these ideas, I want them to stay simple because that's something that's going to keep me in it. Because like the what's the show that I do, the time-lapse tutorial one, it's nice and it's great for y'all, but it's a time trap for me because it takes too long, and I'm the type of person that I like to do elaborate things. And so if it starts off elaborate, it's going to get more elaborate as it goes on, and then I'm going to get sick of it because now it's too elaborate and I don't feel like doing that anymore. So that's why, if you notice on the time-lapse thing, they've gotten simpler over time because I didn't want them too elaborate. Because I got sick of doing elaborate stuff, and I was like, ooh, I have to do another time-lapse tutorial. So, anywho, yeah, all of these are going to be simple things. So closing time is one of the first ones. It's going to be about doing closures and different things like that. And another one, and this one was kind of submitted by someone, one of the viewers, that was saying she wanted to see something that was talking about fabrics. And so this one is going to be called Fabric Talk. That's an interesting name for that. Then I want to do something with my music, so I'm going to have a little thing called Melody, where I just do things with my music and stuff. So that way it's not particularly connected to any one video, even though there may be little times where I do something. That way I can just have something specific for my music. And if you want to look at it, you want to watch it, you can, and hopefully you enjoy yourself. And if not, you don't have to watch it, you know. And that's with any of the shows. And then I do want to keep the Ask Chris Tuesday thing. I don't want to throw that out. We may even change days just to make that more interesting. But also, I want to take the Ask Chris format, and then I want to do it live, because there's this Google Hangout streaming thing or something like that YouTube always has a little link to at the top of my page, but I never click on it because it's been going in my head for probably the last 2 or 3 months, ever since it started putting that Google Hangouts thing up there. So I'll be talking about that, I guess, in February, to see where everybody's head is. And I guess who wants to, help me with the first couple, because that one I definitely can't do on my own. So yeah, the Ask Chris Live, that should be very interesting. So yeah, I would love for you to have questions ahead of time, or if you could have a garment or something, that way it could kind of trigger your mind to ask questions or something. That would be awesome. So closing time, which is about closures, Fabric Talk, which is about fabric, Melody, which is an outlet for my music stuff, and Ask Chris Live, which will be the Ask Chris episode thing, but just where you can ask questions in real time and I can respond to you immediately. The only bad thing about that, because I'm so long-winded, dear Jesus. But that's the first 3 things. And then I also want to do some type of show where I do little arts and craftsy type things, because I think this is a good outlet for that. And maybe I could go find these simple projects. That would be really awesome. Find these little simple projects, because I see some of the other people on YouTube they do these little cute projects, and I always look at them like, that is so cute. I wonder if I could do that. And they're always easy. So, and there's of course we all know there are these easy patterns that you could go to the store and buy and sew it up. Just go get the fabric and sew it up. So that would be awesome. So I'll write that down. Little arts and crafts show idea. And yeah, that'll be any type of simple thing. If we want to make mittens one day, or like little caps, like I think the thing that I saw the other girl making was like a cap or something, and that was cute. She made wallets one day, that was really cute. But yeah, all these other little things that aren't clothing would be great. And even if I could find out how to make belts, that'd be cute, because I really don't know how to make belts. I've seen the things for belts, but I've never seen anybody make one. I don't know how to make one. And maybe I can even, it'd be nice if I could get someone to show how they make hats, or how they make jewelry or something like that. Or if I could go get a tutorial and do the jewelry myself, whatever works. But yeah, that would be so interesting. So at least I'm coming up with these different ideas, something else I'll be interested in. And so anyway, let's get on to the Ask Tuesday episode that you guys have been waiting for. So thank you for watching, and sorry this episode is going to be so long, but I will see you guys later. Hello everyone, and welcome to the very next Ask Chris Tuesday. So, it's been a minute. I hope everybody enjoyed your holidays and your Christmas this year. Merry Christmas for next year. So, I enjoy Christmas. Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year. So anyway, let's get started talking about some stuff. Okay, so really quickly, I was supposed to be doing a sweatpants tutorial was it this last week? The week before that, when I did an Ask Tuesday, and then I didn't do a second video that week. And here are the sweatpants that I started on. I messed them up, which is why you had no video that Friday. So just looking at them, this is the fabric that I got. And they actually turned out cute for the most part. But then I was trying to do them with just a waistband in the top of it. And see, I did my little pretend tag here. And so I connected the elastic and I serged it down and then I folded it over. What ended up happening is because the pants are already pretty wide, and then I put the elastic in, the elastic didn't draw back up as much as I wanted it to. So that's what ended up happening with this. So they are still too wide for me to put them on and just hold them, or for them to just hold on to me. So I tried to put some little holes in here and this is where it got away from me. I tried to put some holes here for a whatever you call it. And after doing that, I was like, okay, that looks bad. And so then I opened it up so I could do the buttonholes, and that didn't work out too well. And then I was like, okay. So anyway, but I was gonna or at least change these, edit these a little bit. I was gonna drop the waistband down about 3 or 4 inches, and because that way they wouldn't be like, when you get pants like this, they're normally made to be at your natural waistline. We wear our clothing nowadays at what I call a retail waistline, which sits right where your hip bones are, basically. And so in order for these to be at that height, you would take them down about 3 inches and then continue doing the pattern however you're supposed to do it. So what I'm going to do is cut these down 3 inches, and then I'm going to just do a drawstring waistband, and that'll be so much better. So that'll be coming this Friday. I'll be continuing the video. But after messing this up, and then I also had some other stuff to do that day, I didn't really have time to go back and start doing other stuff and finish the video and edit the video and upload the video that day. So that's why that turned out like that. So that's that. Also, I did my first singing video on that Tuesday, and I got a lot of good comments, so thank you very much for everybody who enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm going to be doing it on every Tuesday, but instead of connecting it to this video, I will be putting it in a separate video. And I'm also thinking about changing some of the background music on like the time-lapse tutorial videos to be like some type of singing thing from me or whatever. But I'm thinking of different ways to do that, because I don't want to just throw something together for the singing part, because I think singing should sound a certain way, and especially if it's going to be as background music, it shouldn't be just a cappella all the time. It should be, if it's going to be a cappella, at least let it have different chords and harmonizations going on in the background, not just, one person, oh baby, doing all of that. So anyway, let's get down to the questions, okay? Okie dokie, question number 1 is from Vintage Couture for Men, and he says, OMG, your voice is amazing, and you're a phenomenal fashion designer. You are truly a precious gift. Thank you so much for sharing what is inside of you. Keep them coming. Now, I do have a question. I want to know if I can use nylon thread when sewing heavy, thick fabric like leather or vinyl. If not, what other types of thread should I use to keep it from tearing apart? Please and thanks. Okay, well, I forgot about the vinyl part when I was researching the question, but I did answer at least for the leather part. You could probably use about the same thing because vinyl is kind of leathery in a way. So anyway, I think vinyl should be patent leather, but anywho. From the information that I found, you should use a nylon thread with a leather needle. And the leather needle, it's supposed to be like three-sided, like a triangle, I guess, down the shaft and to the point of the needle, so it can cut the fabric as it sews. So if you don't have nylon, or if you can't find nylon, I included a site down in the description that has more information on the different types of threads and the effects that it has. As the person was sewing, it was a lady that was doing an experiment to see what other things that you could sew with. So there was that. That was it was a really good post. So please go and check that out. Okie dokie. Question number 2 is from a lady named Tasha Lee. So Tasha says, I have a question. What happened to the Online Design Academy? I discovered your channel last night and I decided to look for the design school online, but I can't find it. How do I join? Okay, Miss Tasha. I actually need to take all those links off of my old videos because there's still a lot of old links and stuff on there. But sadly, the design school is gone. It was one of those labor of love. I think I'm using the right terminology. It was one of those type things. And it was something I started earlier in the past year, in 2012. Well, really, no, August of 2011. And then it kind of carried over into the spring of 2012. But anyway, but it's been discontinued. And basically because for a couple of different reasons. The quality of the video visually and the audio, it was really bad. And it wasn't up to par. And I was working with what I had at the moment, and if you watch some of my older videos, you'll see what the video quality was like because it was the same camera that I was using. And it was bad. And it's one of those things that you learn to work with over time, or you learn how to get better over time. And now, after being fed up, I finally got a new camera, which is good. But yeah, it's something that maybe I'll try to redo in the future, after I learn a little bit more about video production and stuff like that, and video editing. But as of now, it's something. Okay, let me say it like this: it's one of those things that you learn as you get older that you can't do everything by yourself. And I was trying to do the whole online academy thing by myself, and trying to do that and do a YouTube channel and focus on figuring out how to market the school and doing all of the videos and coming up with all of the concepts by myself and doing all of that. It was really, really, really tiring. And it just, after you do it and then you find little parts where you didn't get the angle right, or you weren't close enough to this part, and so you have to really be conscious of everything while you're working on it. And it's very hard to kind of mentally play two people. Okay, I'm playing the teacher, showing you how to do a bodice or a skirt or whatever, and then I'm also playing the viewer and slash videographer, and I'm trying to say, okay, I'm trying to catch myself before I don't catch an angle, or I'm trying to think about what I'm saying while I'm thinking about, can you hear it, and it was so difficult. So without going too deep into it, that was the main thing. And once I did it, and like I said, I saw the little points that I messed up. Just thinking about going back and redoing it, it was just like, it was a no-brainer. It was like, I don't want to do it, and it was too hard. And like I said, in the future, if it's something I really want to pursue, I will know better to get some help in the future. So that's it. Alright, question number 3 is from MalakyahuBenYisrael. And they say, whoa, bro, you are gifted. Is it possible to get to that level without formal training? He's talking about that jacket that I saw I think it was the very first time-lapse tutorial that I did. A really nice jacket. It was cute. And I did the sleeve backwards by mistake. He says, it seems like you should have a drafting table. Your back has to be killing you after all that floor work. And then he says, how do you do the lining? Can you show us that too? And in response, I say, yeah, sometimes it hurts, but I try to keep moving and keep getting in different positions. That way my back doesn't really bother me much. And also, the lining would be interesting to show in like one of those time-lapse videos, or I don't know, just some other video where I just show you something small. Not necessarily the tips of the week, but you know, whatever. So anyway, and then also coming up soon, I guess on the next tips of the week video, because I don't think I had anything else lined up, I will be doing one of those fabric tutorials that we've been talking about. And then on each one, I'll just concentrate on one fabric, maybe one, maybe two fabrics. That way we can start to learn. And I'll probably do two fabrics. That way we can compare and contrast and look at them both. And it'll be easier to remember because you'll be comparing two fabrics and you can see what's the same, what's different, yada yada, whatever. Okay? And yeah. Okay, and then the very last question is from a lady named Geraldina Lagos. Geraldina? Yeah, maybe that's right. And she says, thank you, Chris, for your time and patience. You're very welcome. Let me ask you something. The spools of thread can be used in a small size. And she was watching the serger video that I have, one of the first videos I did. And she was asking about the size of the spools. Can you use a big size and a small size? And then she says, I mean, serger machines can also take small spools of thread, or it has to be the big ones. Thanks again for your selflessness, I guess, and blessings. Thank you very much, Geraldina. Okay, so I don't have any of the smaller ones in front of me that it comes with, but I did respond to her actually on the YouTube page too. But I was basically saying, of course, it can use smaller spools of thread, but I wanted to bring these up to show you the difference. Okay, this is the type of spool of thread that we use just for regular sewing. You should not use this kind. And not that it can't, because I'm putting it on there now. It fits, and I mean, if you just absolutely had to, you could use it. I wouldn't use this one though, because there's a bigger chance of it slipping off. So if I just kind of take the camera and show you this is another serger. I never did a tutorial on this one, but just because it has so many things, and I tried to use it one time and I didn't do something right, and it wouldn't sew like I wanted it to. So anyway, until I figure out how to use that, I will not be doing a tutorial on it. But anyway, like I said, this does fit on here, so if you absolutely had to, you could use it. But since it's not wide enough to go down on this part, which is what like holds it down, then there's a potential that you'll get, you know, this kind of movement if the thread gets stuck on like the ridge here or any of that stuff. But as you see, it's gonna come off, but see, it just got stuck for a second. And then, you know, if you're on a roll and you're sewing really fast and it gets stuck on one of these ridges or something, it'll come flying off here, and you know, it could cause little minor problems that could turn into bigger problems if the thread gets tangled or something. So it's best to use a bigger spool that has this wide open bottom. Then you can put that on there and there's just less chance. And it's not to say that it won't come off at all, because you see it's loose, it's not fitting on there. But even if it gets up to here, there's still a little room before it just comes flying off. You see? So whereas with the other spool, it's just here, and then it's not even as tall as this one. So once it gets to a certain point, it could just fly off. So it's better to use the bigger ones, in my opinion. Though, like I said, it's not written in stone, as far as I know, that you absolutely have to use a humongous spool of thread, And that's it for this edition.